Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special Halloween themed piece of content that we're putting out on YouTube and podcasting platforms. It is the Skating Penguin Network Candy Draft. We are here just for a couple of minutes to give you our rankings for the best Halloween candy as we this will go live on Halloween, October 31st, 2023. And with that, we thought we'd have some fun here at the Skating Penguin Network and rank some of our favorite candies. So we initially did this with a little friendly bet we put on Sidney Crosby. I believe it was his point totals. Let me pull up Sidney Crosby's point totals here. Let me see. Through 8 games this season, Sidney Crosby has 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. I believe we made the wager off air after one of the recording sessions for the mailbag that we do, and I'm pretty sure I said Crosby would get 9 points by the time the Penguins were going to face off against the Anaheim Ducks before Halloween. I'm pretty sure I said 9 points. I could be wrong. Either way, yours truly has the first pick in this candy draft, and I will use the first pick to maybe shock the world.
Oh,
Who, who knows? Let me see. Where's my list? Here it is. So I am on the clock currently, and I have made my selection. With the first pick in the 2023 Skating Penguin Network Candy Draft, yours truly, Garrett Bahana, has selected the Twix bar as the number one overall selection. I think this is a very versatile piece of candy. You get the cookie, you get the caramel, you get the chocolate, you get it all in one. It's a 5 tool candy. It's going to be a 5 tool player. So that is the first candy off the board, the Twix bar.
it's a good one. That was on a short list for me, but that's definitely a good one.
That's like a Jake Sanderson draft pick for Ottawa. He's like super good cornerstone type player, but didn't see him going number one.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah,
It's good. It's good. It's a safe. It's going to get you some W's.
because you figure exactly the standard pick would be Reese's or Hershey bar, the gold standard, but it's 2023. The times are changing, and it's time for Twix to take its rightful place and earn that first overall contract.
I have second pick, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have a statement from Team Snail. So as everyone on here knows, I'm vegan, so a lot of these candies don't apply to me currently. But I had 26 non-vegan Halloweens in my 32 years of life. So if anybody, I have my little at my Twitter at on here. If anyone for some reason wanted a list of vegan friendly candies, feel free to DM me and I can give you an S tier list of vegan candies. But I'm going with the Old Faithfuls, and this will be a non-vegan list for me. And with that, Team Snail in with the second overall pick in the candy draft is going with an old reliable here. This has got to be in everyone's top three, and that's the Butterfinger.
All right. That's a good selection.
That's not
It's
in my top three, but
yeah,
I agree with Robbie. It is a good selection. It's
yeah.
a good candy.
That's a sleeper pick for me, but I do love a Butterfinger. Can't really argue with that. It's a good selection.
Butterfinger is like it's delicious. It's crunchy. It sticks to the top of your mouth, with
Yeah.
which can be a pain in the ass at times. But this is like a Pasternak, like late in the first round, typically maybe allotted. But like this guy's gonna get you. This guy's on a team friendly deal, and he's gonna get you 30 to 40 goals a year. Doesn't miss a game. This is like this is a great. We're very proud to select Butterfinger at second.
All right. Well, I thank Garrett and Snell for leaving the door open for me to get my pick in here, and I got to go with the legend. I could not believe it was still there for me. It is my top candy. I will eat it any day of the year if it's available, and that is the ever reliable Reese's peanut butter cups. It was I was shocked that it made it this long, so I'm not going to pass on it and give either of those two another shot at taking it. But with the number 3 pick, I'm going with Old Reliable, probably one of the most well-known candies in America or even the world. Going with the old Reese's peanut butter cups. Sticking here with Hershey's here in the Keystone State here, but I'm going with Reese's peanut butter cups at the number 3 spot, and I will now turn it back over to Garrett for the beginning of round number 2.
So we go into round 2 here, and there are still a lot of great players left on the board here, but I may go. I may go. A lot of these players, come from Division 1 chocolate factories, but this is going to be a Division 2 chocolate factory. I think for some people, with the second pick in the Skating Penguin Network candy draft, I will take the Crunch Bar as the my second round pick. I don't think there are few combinations candy wise where you can get the perfect combination in every bite of milk chocolate and crispy rice. It is I debated before I landed on Twix at pick 1. I debated having Crunch going first overall, but I will take Crunch here. Filling out the roster, we have two very solid day 1 starters, candies that I could eat at any point of the calendar year. Yep, that is my second pick. As we move into the second round now, we will go back to Snail for his pick. Team Snail.
I just got to say, Crunch is a bad pick. They were off my draft board completely. Bad in the room, bad character, heard bad things, potential busts. So, anyways, I digress. I can't believe that this is sitting here for me at number 5. Oh, wait, is it 5 or is it 4?
4. No,
4.
5.
5? We're at 5. Like I said, I can't believe this is sitting here for me. This is a cornerstone player. This is someone you build around. This guy could have gone top 3, and that's going to be Snickers, a Snickers bar.
It's fair. I was
agree.
thinking of that too.
Snickers bar is just solid 200-foot game, good in every situation, power play, penalty kill, team friendly as well. So we're proud to select Snickers to add to this star-studded lineup.
Yeah, hard to argue with that one. I was kind of surprised that one didn't get in the first round there, but Snickers is definitely solid all around, up and down. My number 2, gonna go away from the chocolate here. I'm gonna step away from the chocolate. I think this will be the first non-chocolate selection, and one of my favorites. Been one of my favorites for a long time. Go with Twizzlers.
Oh man, you took it. Oh,
yes.
Twizzlers.
It was gonna be the very next thing that came out of my mouth was Twizzlers. I kid you not. It was gonna be my third round selection. As soon as you said you were going away from chocolate, I started panicking a little bit. I was like, he is gonna say Twizzlers, and I am gonna have to do a mad dash for another third round pick because
that's why you got to get your picks queued up so you know what's coming next. But Twizzlers, I love in any form of Twizzler. I like the pull apart ones. I like the standard licorice shaped Twizzler. I like the bites. Not black licorice. I think that's vile and just reprehensible. But no, Twizzlers is my second round pick. So so 2 rounds in now, we have Garrett with the Crunch Bar and Gary the Twix Bar. Snail sitting there with Snickers and Butterfinger, and I am sitting on Reese's peanut butter cups and Twizzlers. And we'll go back to Garrett now for the beginning of round number 3.
I just got to say quick, I did not see Twizzlers getting picked this high, if at all.
Apparently I got it at the right time because it was going in the beginning of the third round. So
I would have said the same thing to Garrett. Twizzlers is just like a sweet. It's just red licorice, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between a Twizzlers and a Red Vine?
Probably the name brand.
Just that? Okay.
Probably.
Anyways, I'll let you move on.
All right. Well, I've had to readjust my draft board here with the selection of Twizzlers' last pick. Still think we have some quality here in the third round. My pick in the third round. This may be a reach to some people, but with Twizzlers being selected, I will move my fourth round pick up into the third round. I will take Sour Patch Kids as my third round selection. And Robbie is giving me a very interesting look. If you're watching this on YouTube, uh, I'm curious to get his thoughts when the mic comes back around to Robbie. But I will take Sour Patch Kids. Snail, do you have anything before we get to Robbie?
No, I actually had Sour Patch Kids next, so good to know where we stand as far as Sour Patch Kids go. There's no debate on that. It's a solid pick. I'm surprised it's made it to the third round here. So
Robbie,
Well, Snail's up.
oh yeah, it's my
yes,
pick.
yes.
Garrett's trying to jump me. He doesn't. Okay, so I'm having to adjust here quickly, but no matter. I was planning for this. I'm very well prepared. I have my list here, and Team Snail is going with Airheads. Off the away from the chocolate as well. This is like taking a goalie. There's a large variety to Airheads as well, so you don't really know what you're going to get. Might have to have a little bit of a stint in the minors, but we expect them. We expect big things from them.
Yeah, fair choice there. Airheads was a little lower on my list, but it was on the board. Garrett, I guess you got me back for Twizzlers with that pick. So I'm gonna stay away from the chocolate and go Starburst. Again, Starbursts are kind of like Airheads in the wide variety, very flexible. I mean, the flavor choices are varied greatly. I mean, you have your standard, your yellow, orange, pink, and red, but they have tropical flavors. They have all sorts of different flavors up and down the roster now. So I'm going to go with Starburst to round out round 3 here.
Starburst is like Brandon Sutter, third line offensive minded centerman, has his dips here and there, but overall during the course of his career could be relied upon for points and assists in the third line center slot. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, very solid. Can jump up to the top 6 if necessary to bring some to fill out an injury. But I think overall, you get a lot of depth with Starburst.
I love the Mel Kiper a draft analysis we're delving into here. Snail is really bringing it as we head into round 4 here. I believe round 4, if I'm not mistaken. My fourth round selection may come as a surprise because a lot of people may think this is an old school candy, but I absolutely love the texture of it. It's not chocolate. I'm going to go with the old fashioned gummy bears for my round 4 selection. Ever since I was a kid, I just think there is something. I mean it's squishy sugar basically, but that's what all candy is. I love the texture of gummy bears. I typically get them around Easter time. I don't know if I would classify it as an Easter candy, but that's just when I closely associate gummy bears with gummy bears and jelly beans. But anyway, yeah, I think gummy bears, they're not going to wow anybody. Like Snail said earlier, I think it's going to take a stint down in the minors for gummy bears to develop. But I'm very high on this pick. I think given the right team, I think the gummy bears can develop into a long-term project, but I think eventually he can be a plus starter.
You know what gummy bears are? It's Dumoulin. It's Brian Dumoulin. It's an off the glass and out defenseman that, yeah, he maybe needs a year or two in the minors, but you bring him up and he's going to be a steady Eddie. He can play top pair. He can play bottom pair defenseman, off the glass and out, $1 million a year for 8 years. Smell you later. Great. It's a solid pick. All right. We're in the fourth round, right?
Yep.
With my fourth round selection, this will probably come as a with my fourth round selection, we're going across the pond. We're going Swedish Fish.
Ooh.
Wow. That might be the biggest surprise of the draft.
This is Swedish Fish, again, a lot of depth and variety. This is gonna be a little bit of a project. Swedish Fish in Sweden are killing it in the Swedish Elite League. point per game player. But over here, we just don't know how the European game will translate, and it's gonna take a stint in the minors and maybe a loan to like a WHL team or something. I don't know. It's gonna take some different sets of eyes to really pin down what we're getting from this pick. But nonetheless, we're patient. This is a fourth round pick. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, then c'est la vie.
All right, so I'll wrap up the round 4 here, and guys, I actually have this draft pick here to be introduced. So, with my fourth round selection, it's probably going to show up backwards because of the way the cameras are. But oh
Yeah,
no, it
it's
did show up
okay.
correctly.
Oh my god, how have we forgotten the Kit Kat?
Like, getting the Kit Kat in the fourth round, I'll take that every day of the week, baby. Um,
That's Datsuk.
yeah, I mean, and I get two of them technically. Um, I can clone them, and
Oh.
I can get. I can actually get. I mean, if I want to, I can get top pairing defense out of that, or second pairing defense out of that bad boy. But no, I'm going Kit Kat round 4. I actually forgot about it too until I was kind of perusing a list here to see like where can I pull from here because um, to kind of get a solid pick here, and Kit Kat popped up, and I'm like, I don't think anybody's picked that yet. So yeah, I'm going with Kit Kat to round out round 4, and round 5 we will turn it over to Mr. Bahana.
Round 5. Okay, we're in day 3 of the draft here as we get towards the later rounds of the draft. Kind of surprised this one's on the board. This one I think had round 2, round 3 potential, but round 5, my pick for this candy will be Jolly Rancher.
Solid.
I think there's something to be said. The grittiness, the toughness of Jolly Rancher, both physically and figuratively. He's not going to score a lot of points, but you're going to feel him. When he's out there, delivering hits, when he's out there, chipping your teeth, literally and figuratively. So I'm surprised Jolly Rancher was still there. These later round draft picks can be, like we've mentioned before, projects, but Jolly Rancher I think can be a plus backup if given the right team, right scenario.
Yeah, choking hazard as well. That's I don't know. There's a number of gritty players. Maybe like it's like you're getting Georges Larac or something in the
There
fifth
we go.
round.
Big 6'5", 260-pound forward.
So I had this guy originally a little bit higher up, but I passed. Garrett taking a Sour Patch rattled me a bit. I'm gonna go with for the fifth round selection. I'm gonna have to go with 100 grand.
Wow.
100 grand, tough as nails, literally and figuratively. Might cost you just 100 grand in the NHL. He's probably going to be in the minors. He's tough though, so maybe you bring him up. Maybe you sign him to a two-way, and you bring him up when you're playing a team like the Caps, and you got someone like Tom Wilson in the lineup or Revo. Great in the room though, just probably a great locker room guy. Good for morale. Probably super funny. So we're happy with our selection with 100 grand.
Yeah, yeah, very. I kind of was not expecting that, but I can't really argue with that as well. So, wrapping out round 5 here with myself, I'm going um a peanut M&M, not peanut butter, the actual peanut M&M, the peanuts covered in milk chocolate, different colors, obviously the peanut variety of M&Ms. Always been a big fan. I love peanuts just in general, and um, yeah, that sweet and salty flavor you get with the peanut M&Ms is hard to argue with. Good variety, um, colors as well that obviously all taste the same, but you can imagine that they have a little bit different flavor. All that good dye they put on them that will eventually cost me 5 or 10 years when I'm in my 80s. So, but now I'm going with peanut M&Ms to wrap up round 5 and toss it back to G here to get us started on round number 6.
That's
All right.
actually a great pick. That is like, dude, peanuts alone are a phenomenal just snack that like you
Yeah.
probably maybe you don't go out and buy peanuts, but like if they're there, they're in your orbit, you want them.
Yes.
And with the chocolate coating on them and yeah, the toxic dye that's going to cost you later in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That pick's like Pavelski. It's like a
Yeah,
Pavel or a Hornquist.
I'll
Just
take
like
that.
you'll take them in your lineup every day, but sometimes you forget about them because they're not flash and dash, but in front of the net, dude, if you're a little greased at 1 in the morning, dude, what's better than
That's
a
fair.
peanut M&M?
That works.
So we're taking flyers here in the final 2 rounds of the draft, and honestly surprised no one has mentioned this up to this point. I have to be in the mood for this particular candy, and there are variations of this candy. I will go back to the chocolate here. I will go with the Oreo cookie. I think
That's
you know, like
I'll
I
give it
said,
to you. That's Oreo is a I need to be in the mood for it, but
yes, agreed.
very. I mean, you can't really go wrong with an Oreo.
You know, it's something that I have in my household from time to time. Again, like I said, like Robbie said, I have to be in the mood for it. However, I can never just have one Oreo. I find myself taking one, and typically it's the double stuff. Typically, I know there are variations, so if you want to call double stuff different from a traditional Oreo, well, you can. But traditionally, we have the double stuff here. I can never just have one. I have to have at least two. And what I don't do, I typically don't have it with a glass of milk. I know a lot of the ads over the years have had you dunking the Oreo in a glass of milk. It's just not something that I've done. I think the combination of the chocolate with the cream is a pretty solid value pick. May not turn out to be much, but got to go with it. So I'll go Oreo as we move into round 6 here.
With our round 6 selection, we are going with a really it's this is a gritty pick. This is a guy who's got a bit of a reputation, but he's old school, so we're willing to you never know when you need an old school guy in the lineup. This guy might be in the East Coast Hockey League to begin the season, and he'll have to prove himself to get to the AHL affiliate. And with that, we're going Boston Baked Beans.
I have no idea what that is.
Really? You've never heard of Boston Baked Beans? I live in Seattle, and we have them. I just had a box of them from my local Ace not that long ago. Ace Hardware.
Yeah, you're gonna. Wow. You're gonna have to give an explanation on it because I too have never heard of Boston baked beans.
Dude, I let me Google it quick.
Yeah,
The
that's one.
2023 Candy Draft is brought to you by Geico. 15% or more can save you 15 minutes on your car insurance or something like that. We are not sponsored, by the way. So if this happens to be find the ears of a Geico rep, we are not sponsored by Geico.
But we
But give us a
definitely
call.
wanna be sponsored.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll
Give
read
me-
that 8 times a podcast if you want.
exactly.
Okay, so Boston Baked Beans these classic candies aren't actually beans. They're candy coated peanuts. Peanuts dressed up in a sweet,
Okay.
crunchy candy coating. Boston Baked Beans are made with the highest quality sugar and gluten free so you can snack with a clear conscience.
Wow.
Yeah, they're crunchy. They're an old candy. They're gritty. They kind of hit the spot immediately, but if you eat like 2 or 3 handfuls of them, you're gonna be kind of like, ooh, that's not too good. It's an East Coast Hockey League player.
They legitimately look like baked beans, though. Like
They
just
do.
yeah, they look shockingly like baked beans. Kind of disturbingly so, but all right, I will wrap up round 6 here, and I'm going over the pond. I'm going to join Snell over the pond here, and this one is um, a kind of a niche one. You may or may not have heard of it, but I'm going with the Toblerone bar. Um, it is a Swiss chocolate. It has honey in the chocolate and I believe, almond nougat in it as well. And again, if you ever seen them, they come in like little triangles connected together. Just again, I'm not a huge just straight chocolate person like Hershey bars and stuff like that. So having some different flavors in and different textures in my chocolate is what I'm looking for. So that's where the Toblerone comes in, and I'm going with that as my 6th round pick.
It's Zetterberg. That's a great chocolate bar. Super
Yeah.
high end. Probably
Yeah.
has great hair.
It's
great
very
character.
bougie. It is definitely bougie. Um, But I mean, it's not expensive bougie. It's just it's European bougie. So, but yeah, I'll take the Zetterberg comp on that. I mean, hey man, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame someday, so you might as well take with what you can get.
All right, round 7, the final round of the candy draft. Now, I have to be honest with you, fellas. I was originally going to take jelly beans here, but after some deliberation with my team, we have decided to not select jelly beans. We have decided to select Gushers.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a good one.
Gushers still on the board. You know what? This is gonna be maybe the pick that you look back in this draft 30 years from now. You say, how does Gushers get taken in the 7th round? Carves out a Hall of Fame career for himself. Uh, I absolutely love. I mean, Gushers are just awful, probably awful for you.
Hey,
I
they're
just
just sugar. That's literally all they are.
I there's something about the sensation when you bite into them, and you just get that liquidy goodness coming, leaking all over you. It's fantastic.
Gushers are like Colby Armstrong or like Rick Tocchet. It's like fan favorite. It's just a phenomenal treat in itself. It's unique. It's a diamond in the rough. Maybe unsettle if you've never had one before. Unsettling when you bite into it at first, kind of like what am I eating? And then you're like, oh my god, this is delicious.
That's
It's
exactly
it's Rick Tocchet.
that's exactly how you describe it. Unsettling, but then you're like, you know what? This is pretty good.
I will give you one tip on fruit gushers, and that is to freeze them before you eat them.
I have never done that. I have never done that.
You
And now
got to
that you
do
say
that.
that, I have to do that.
I have to try it again. They take like no time at all to thaw once you're eating them, but it definitely enhances the experience.
All right, so this might be like I gotta probably consult the league on this one. So this might be like when that one I think the Florida GM tried to draft Ovechkin a year before he was supposed to be drafted because of the leap years. He said if you counted leap years, he was old enough. So is the Reese's peanut butter cup pumpkin because it has more peanut butter ratio to chocolate? Is that a different candy than a Reese's peanut butter cup?
I will allow it. I don't, Garrett. You can weigh in, but I technically they are a different candy because you can still get both at the same time.
I
Like they don't
think
I
discontinue.
won't argue that.
I will personally allow it.
after further consultation with the board of directors and the delegates from each team here, we have moved forward and we will allow the pick to be made. Pumpkin Reese's can be selected.
Then we're going with pumpkin Reese's. It's just Reese's got taken in the first like it's just a great and it's seasonal. So maybe this is like a this is a playoff performer here because it comes around just at a certain time every year. Maybe he's more of a bottom six guy, and then and then around playoff time, maybe you move him up a line or two, and you get him playing with your stars to make some space and room out there. It's we're satisfied with this pick, and thank you league for clarifying on that.
Those things are loaded with peanut butter. Like
Oh, he's
packed.
so much peanut
And they
butter.
have like less chocolate on too. Like they have like a thin layer of chocolate and then like double the peanut butter of a peanut butter cup. Yeah, they're very good. I have to allow that. Yes. All right, and I guess it's up to me to wrap it up here. And this one I bounced around on a couple on the board here still, but I am going with a Three Musketeers bar to wrap up my selection. They are about as simple a candy bar as you can possibly have. They are a chocolate outside and a creamy nougat inside. And again, I don't know if anybody's ever tried it, but they are very good frozen, especially the bite-sized ones. So I am going with the Three Musketeers bar to round out my candy roster.
Surprised, actually, I had them higher up on my draft board, but maybe he had a couple rough interviews. Maybe he doesn't speak English or something, and it's just he dropped to drop quite a few. Actually, dropped as far as you could go.
He had a serious injury last year of junior, tore his Achilles. Just rehabbing and fell a couple rounds because he hasn't quite got back on the ice yet. But once he gets back, we're thinking definitely a Alex Nylander type of player here, at least in this first few years, bouncing back and forth, making an impression, maybe even redeem Sahorna. type player here.
Or like a Shane Wright, except it's not in the first round. You know, he
Well,
missed
Shane
COVID. Missed
Shane
because
Wright,
of COVID.
yeah, Shane Wright had a lot go wrong at the exact wrong time for him.
Totally.
So yeah, hoping they can all bounce back. But that's how I'm going to wrap up my roster.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for the 2023 Skating Penguin Network Candies Draft, brought to you by insert sponsor here. If you'd like to sponsor us, please feel free to DM one of us, and we will set that up for you. But thanks for listening to this little fun activity we did as we get into the spooky season right before Halloween gets here. And now it's time after Halloween. We got to unthaw Mariah Carey and start that process. And hey, here's what I will say as we close out. Christmas music cannot be played until the day after Thanksgiving. That is my rule, and I am sticking to it.
You stay as far away from me as possible, then.
Are you playing?
Are you a Christmas music guy?
Oh yeah, I've been playing Christmas music since like September.
What?
Yeah.
September?
Wild.
Dude, fall isn't even over until like Thanksgiving, right?
Yes, I agree. Winter begins the day after Thanksgiving.
Agreed.
That's just, Anyway, we're out of time here. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. For Snail, for Robbie Noggle. I am going to curate my Christmas playlist right now. Thank you for joining us here at the Skating Penguin Network, and we will talk to all of you again